Today, I want to talk about what the most important tool in your toolbox is. We can talk about diet, supplements, detoxing, getting sunlight, et cetera, et cetera. But there's one thing that if it's not healthy or if it's not in the right place, you will struggle to get better from MS. And I'm talking about your mind, your thoughts. So this is the powerful conversation I want to have with you today. So I want to start out and ask you a direct, powerful question. What do you want? What do you really want? Do you want to thrive or do you just want to manage your symptoms? Are you willing to make the changes to help you get to health again? You have the power to get your healthy self back. And will you put in the work to be able to get there again? I want to talk about your chat room in your head. So think about your mind as a 24/7 chat room. What's going on in there? What does it look like? Is it scrolling text that gives you hope? Or is it a constant stream of thoughts telling yourself, I'll never get better. This will never work. I'll never change. I am bound to this wheelchair. I am bound to all these symptoms. These symptoms will never get better. This is just my luck. My body is failing me. This is my life. You don't have to be there. You can change your thoughts. If you change your thoughts, you change your patterns to healthy ones, and you figure out that this does not have to be your life. So again, the truth is you cannot heal with a negative state of mind. Whatever you tell yourself, your body will follow. Your body is a miracle. It can actually heal itself when you give it the right environment to do so. And that environment starts between your ears. In order to change the future, we need to look back to the past. Many of us carry bags that we didn't even know were packed. I want you to think back to the tough times, and none of us have been unscathed. All of us have experienced tough times, traumas, and things like bankruptcies, financial troubles, relationship troubles, and the list goes on and on. And I really want you to look back to your childhood. What happened there? And this was my second episode. This is actually episode 102. I started with episode 101 because I wanted this to be kind of like a class, right? Biology 101. And that's where I started. So the second episode is episode 102. And if you think you've had any kind of childhood trauma, I want you to listen to that episode. Again, episode 102. It's worth revisiting because these childhood experiences can actually be a catalyst to our disease. And you might have relooping thoughts in your head as to what your life was like prior. And if those are negative, I want you to heal those. And it's not always easy, but I had some childhood trauma I had to heal. And just to be honest with you, I didn't even realize until I had a really good friend of mine tell me that my childhood wasn't that easy. And then I really had to think back and I thought, wow, she's right. I had to unpack and really forgive my mother, who was, and I'm sure still is, a narcissist. And she was a very angry person. And I had all of these traumas stuck in my tissues, stuck in my nervous system. These needed to be healed. And I needed to forgive my mother, which I do. I have in my heart. And I don't want you to feel like you have to tell that person to their face that you forgive them. But I really want you to work on this. If somebody in your life has hurt you in the past, I really want you to forgive them in your heart, because if you can do this, You can heal, you can move on, you can start making changes in your life. It makes a big difference. And in episode 102, I talked about ACE, ACE, and that's adverse childhood experiences. And when you listen to the episode, you'll find out whether you had a tough childhood or not. And these are questions like, did a parent or a parent-like figure put you down in any way? Did they yell at you? Did they tell you that you were not good enough at certain things? Did you often feel like you were not special enough or that you were not loved the way that you should be? Was there violence in your home? Was there anger? Was there mental things that your parent told you that hurt way deep down inside? More people experience these kind of things more than you think. And it's not just childhood. Trauma wears many masks, and all of them create inflammation in the body. So here's some other traumas that you might need to acknowledge. Sexual trauma, you might have been raped, or you might have experienced something sexually that you did not agree with. You might have had religious trauma. Maybe you walked away from a religion and then maybe your family turned your back on you. Or maybe a friend disapproved of this decision. Have you suffered from PTSD? This can be from any accident, any kind of violence, or even witnessing violence. You could have gone through mental or physical abuse of any kind. It could have been the slow erosion of self-worth, either from a parent or a partner or a friend, or even a boss. Maybe it's medical trauma. Your very diagnosis of MS is part of trauma. It can be its own form of PTSD. The hardest pill to swallow is forgiveness. If somebody hurt you and you know deep down inside that you probably have not healed from this and you have not forgiven that person, and maybe it's as simple as being bullied as a kid, or maybe you were just the odd kid in school. Maybe you've always felt this way, and it might have started with one person, and you might have had a bunch of people that made you feel uncomfortable, or somebody who's not a part of the team. So forgiving those people are part of the equation, and it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I had to forgive my mother and I didn't want to, but I did. I had to, because I know that I still love her and I forgave her in my heart and I wish the best for her. And unfortunately, we did break ties over 5 years ago now. And I have to tell you, my life has been nothing but better. I have thrived without having a relationship with my mother. So you might have to do the same thing with somebody. So if somebody hurt you, I know how heavy this can be, but carrying this anger is kind of like drinking poison and waiting for that other person to die. And forgiveness is not saying that it was okay for whatever that person did to you. It's about releasing the grip that this has had on your nervous system. And forgiveness in your heart is required for you to begin your healing journey. So what's your current state right now? Are you in a rough patch? What isn't working in your life? What might be draining you? What's work like? Are you in a happy environment, or is it draining you and making you depressed or uneasy or unhappy? You can't ignore these current traumas either, and you can't expect the body to ignore them as well. I also want to talk about whether you are newly diagnosed or you've had MS for 20 years or longer. It doesn't matter. You can still heal. If you just got the diagnosis, maybe you're terrified of what's going to happen in the future. I know that was my case. For a good 3 weeks or longer, I was so scared. I was terrified. I just pictured myself in a wheelchair and I thought, oh my God, is this how my life is going to be? I'm going to lose friends. I won't be able to walk. I won't be able to spend time with my friends and family like I am now. Had all these negative thoughts go through my head. But then as soon as I realized I had the power to change these thoughts, because I knew I was going to change my other habits, I knew I was going to get well. So if you've had MS for 20 years or longer, you might have told yourself over and over and over that this is going to be your life from now on, that you're hopeless, that nothing is going to change. And that is not the truth. Whatever you want, your wish is your command. So whatever you're thinking, your body is listening. So I'm here to tell you that not all hope is lost. You can make changes and you can get well. I want you to move from a fearful state of being scared or frightened or depressed or things will never change to a state of being excited because things will change and you have to believe this, but also you have to know that you have to start making changes in your life. Imagine your strength returning. Imagine what your life can be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Visualize yourself walking perfectly and being in perfect health and being happy with your situation, and that life keeps getting better and better. Now, this won't happen overnight. Your journey is full of 1,000 small steps. But when you get your thoughts into a good place, the physical changes in your body will follow. Little by little, the chat room conversations in your head start to change. And then your inflammation starts to drop. And then the healing begins. So in closing, I want you to heal your traumas. And this can take some time. Clean up your internal self-talk and start giving your body that peaceful environment that it needs to start healing. You've got more power than you've been led to believe. So this might help you. I want you to do an exercise starting today. Get out a journal, and I want you to write in your journal for 5 minutes every morning. Don't censor it. Just write what thoughts come to your mind. I want you to write down whatever you're thinking. And then this will help you really see what's going through your mind and knowing that you might need to change those thoughts so you can start healing. So I hope this helped you today. I hope this gives you a little spark of hope and anticipation that your life can be different, and pass this on to somebody else who might need some hope too. And you might want to sign up for my newsletter. I've got one that I send out every single Sunday, and I give out helpful tips and hints as to ways you can start healing your body. So until next time, you'll hear from me in the near future.